This second channel truly has a great focus on the police absolutely wasting their time with violating people's rights. And here's another example, a sort of a bit more of a high profile one. Darren Grimes, for people who don't know, he's a sort of conservative Eton schoolboy type of political pundit, but not well liked by the usual crowd that also don't like us. But apart from that, he's harmless. But Darren Grimes under police investigation after David Starkey interview. Now, for those of you that don't know, David Starkey, you've probably seen him on the TV, and he recently came under fire. He got super cancelled after, because he did a podcast with Darren Grimes, and during the podcast with Darren Grimes, he used the phrase, like, these damn blacks, right? And I feel it's sort of, he's a sort of an old school Englishman, old school Tory, and where he says, these damn this, these damn that, and everything. And when he said that, he was talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, and when he said that, it didn't look good, and he got super cancelled. He get sacked from the universities he works in. He's banned, I don't know if he's banned from being on the BBC, but he lost all of his appearances on the BBC. He lost all his book deals. He got cancelled hard. But Darren Grimes himself has now come under fire for it because he was the guy that did the podcast with David Starkey. But there's an interesting... The reason he's under investigation is interesting, and it slightly relates to my case a little bit. Commentator to be interviewed on suspicion of stirring up racial hatred over comments made by historian. Now, David Starkey was the one that made the comments. So why is Darren Grimes getting crap now? Well, we can get into that. Darren Grimes is being investigated by police on suspicion of stirring up racial hatred over an interview with the historian David Starkey that he published. It has emerged. Now, that part he published, that's the important part. Mr. Grimes, a Conservative commentator, has been asked to attend a police station to be interviewed under caution after publishing a podcast in which David Starkey said slavery was not genocide because there are so many damn blacks. There you go. It has been warned that the investigation by the Metropolitan Police will have a chilling effect on free speech, while Mr. Grimes has described it as an abuse of taxpayers' money. Both of those statements are correct. Mr. Grimes is accused of a public order offence of stirring up racial hatred by publishing the interview on his podcast on July the 2nd, The Telegraph can reveal. He has since apologised. We don't know why you should apologise for another person's words, but hey-ho. Well, Dr. Starkey's career lies in ruins, with the historian set to lose all his academic titles and book deals. Mr. Grimes said in a statement, "At a time when many in our country are facing uncertainty and financial hardship, I cannot imagine a more contemptible way for the Metropolitan Police to abuse taxpayers' money and the trust of citizens than by investigating this vexatious claim." It's a completely fair statement, a completely correct statement. The police investigating things like this is a grotesque waste of police time and waste of taxpayer money. It is an absolute waste. He said the threat of arrest has serious repercussions for freedom of expression. His solicitor, Luke Gittos of Murray's Partnership, said it was an unprecedented use of public order legislation. I mean, you say unprecedented, I would say that this is the norm. Now, this is what they do. If you offend people in Britain, that is a crime. Britain as a country does not have freedom of speech. The British government does not recognise the human right to freedom of speech. Our government constantly infringes on human rights. A lot, on a mass scale. What was it, 3,000 arrests, 3,000 people a year were brought in for police questioning over comments made on social media. Britain does not have freedom of speech. The government actively infringes on this human right. Fucking, the British government should be in front of the fucking Hague, if I'm being perfectly honest, for the way it treats human rights. Mr. Grimes is being supported by the Free Speech Union, which has described the accusations against him as absurd, because they are. The interview provoked furious backlash when it was published on the YouTube channel Reasoned UK in the summer. In the days after making his comments during a discussion of the Black Lives Matter movement, Dr. Starkey lost his academic positions at Fitzwilliam College, Cambridge and Canterbury Christ Church University. HarperCollins, which had been expected to publish 2 more of his history books, said it was cancelling their release. So yeah, David Stark, he get cancelled hard. He get cancelled really hard. Just another one of the many sacrificial goats people have handed over to the mob. And yet, no matter how many goats you sacrifice, it's like the Mayan temples leading all of the unwoke up the stairs to cut their hearts out of their chest to appease the sun god. And yet, there is always a permanent eclipse anyway, because these people can never be pleased. Toby Young, the General Secretary of the FSU, said the only hatred Dr. Starkey stirred up was against himself. I mean, yeah, fair. Mr. Grimes himself publicly apologised for having broadcast Dr. Starkey's remarks, saying that he should have robustly questioned Dr. Starkey about his comments. Plainly, Mr. Grimes would have never made this announcement if he had intended to stir up racial hatred in the course of a broadcast only days earlier. Now, that's the thing is, David Starkey made the comments, so why is Darren Grimes getting the crap for it? It is because Darren Grimes posted the video. Now, this is the clever thing. This is the really, really weird thing about these laws. Now, for example, in my case, the Nazi Pug video, me making the video, editing the video, starring in the video and all that stuff, none of that is considered a crime. It is the posting of the video that is considered the crime. That is where the cops get you. So if you post anything that people find offensive or they say can stir up hatred, that thing that the cops ask any police officer, what is stirring up hatred? They can't answer. They can't define it. A lot of prosecutors can't even define it either. It's a nice big grey area in the law. It lets them prosecute who they want. The authoritarian governments love grey areas. Right, so it's the actual posting of it that is a crime. And because Darren posted the video, that is what is considered as the crime. That is why, even though he didn't make the comments, but he posted them online, so therefore he has broken the law. It's a stupid law. It's an absolutely idiotic law, and this law literally violates human rights. The police right now are in the process of possibly violating Darren Grimes' human rights. Now, the thing with that is, as well as posting the video online, I mean, people post videos, and like the news agencies especially, like people, YouTubers, everybody posts, look at these racist comments that this racist man said, look at this racist, and a lot of them do contain actual genuine racism, things that could cause offence. You have posted offensive comments online, so therefore you have broken the law, because as we found in my case, context doesn't matter. So like that's the thing that I don't get. I mean, a crime, something's either a crime or it's not a crime. You can't turn around and say, oh, but under these circumstances, yeah, it's okay. No. It's either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. Right, so I mean, that's the thing that I don't get. You get it on Twitter and on YouTube all the time. Look at these racist comments. Look at the racist thing the racist man said. But those people don't get touched. But I mean, Darren didn't even make these comments. He was chatting with someone who did make these comments. And Darren's the one getting a police investigation because he posted them. Mr. Young questioned whether journalists would now be arrested over comments made by their interviewees. See, there you go. I mean, see, there you go. That's the thing then. See if you do an interview with anybody and it's not going the way you wanted, just say a racist statement in the interview and they can't upload it. Hey, there you go. There you go. If you ever get interviewed or you're on a TV show or anything like that, and you don't want it to get uploaded or posted anywhere, just say a racist comment and there you are. They can't post it now. Fantastic. And asked if similar action was being taken against a Sky News reporter who was interviewing the rapper Wiley when he made offensive comments about Jewish people. He added, in a free and democratic society, Britain is not free nor democratic. We do not have the right to free speech in Britain. The British government constantly infringes on this human right. It is paramount that journalists and broadcasters are permitted to interview a wide range of people, including those likely to make controversial remarks. Threatening them with arrest if their interviewees say something offensive will have a chilling effect on free speech, which is the lifeblood of a democracy. Yes. The public order offences which Mr. Grimes is accused of carries a maximum penalty of 7 years in prison. Scotland Yard said on July the 4th the Metropolitan Police Service was passed an allegation from Durham Police of a public order offence relating to a social media video posted online June 30th. The matter is currently being investigated. No arrests. Not yet. The Telegraph understands that Dr. Starkey has not been contacted by the police. So the fact that it was, so that's the thing is, even though Starkey is the one who made the comments, he didn't post the video online, so he's fine. See, that's the thing that's weird. That's why this law doesn't work. Law doesn't work. Bin these laws. Scrap these laws. This is an absolutely pointless, wasteful use of police time. Stop arresting people for causing offence. Stop it. It is a sign of weakness. This country, the police, they're so weak. Go and fight. This phrase, go and fight real crime. Like, that thing that I'm sure the police hear on a daily basis, but in this instance, Jesus, actually go and fight real crime. Actually go and fight real crime. I don't understand why the police are so determined to get arrests on stuff like this. I mean, I've had stuff happen to me. I've had the crap beaten out of me several times. I've been stabbed, I've been slashed, and I know people that have had the same thing happen to them. But whenever you make a complaint to the police, the cops are like, was there any cameras? Well, there's nothing really we can do. Bye. I mean, there was one time where I'd walked into the police station after I just got a kicking, Scotland. Wrong place, wrong time. I was walking home from work. There was eight of them and one of me. Didn't hear them coming up behind me because I had my big headphones in, and I get the absolute devil beating out of me. I got absolutely booted up and down the street, kicked in the head, all that type of stuff. Not far from Coatbridge Police Station. I walked into the police station. It was black and blue, bleeding, covered in blood and stuff like that. Told the police what had happened to me. And the police accused me of being drunk and said that I started the fight. Even though I was in my Tesco uniform coming back home from work. And the police were like, didn't care. They really didn't care. And they wouldn't even call me an ambulance or give me a lift to the hospital. I had to get a taxi. But make an offensive comment online. They'll get the highest tier, most elite investigators out after you. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing is, this type of stuff, it's horrible, it's terrible, it happens. Darren should be absolutely released and let go. Dr. Starkey, I think he should get all his stuff back, because what he said was pretty bloody minor. But whenever stuff like this happens, I mean, it helps. It helps having articles like this because we get to point out all of these instances of the government violating human rights. Our government violates human rights almost constantly. And it's brilliant that we get to point all of this out until they pass new laws to get us to stop doing that. And I think those laws are going to come pretty soon.